That's the Roflcopter sound coming our way here for the final game of today. I'm sure Gus is probably a tomato. I had to do it. It's Roflcopter versus Bliss coming up. Final game of the day, Gus. And it's a big one, all right? All jokes aside.
Can we go to the lineups? Are they ready yet, production? Can we just whip one up? Is it ready? Or the matchup? Just give us something, please. Anything. There we go.
Take it away.
Yay! Woo! Ruffle versus Bliss. This is going to be a really exciting matchup. Ruffle looking to try and secure their position in the top 5, or at least bounce their way back into it. Bliss, on the other hand, they need to get 1 point to lock in first place.
Yeah, but let's go and have a look at Roflcopter's lineup first, of course, as they ruffle their way into this stage. They're looking pretty good. This is not necessarily a must-win game, of course, as we touched on in match 1 tonight. They've got the wildcard matchup in Playday 7. You win that, and you go through. It's as simple as that, right? But why not maybe keep things a little spicy going into Playday 7? Why not knock off Bliss, be the first team to do it in regulation, and then keep that top spot alive for the Chiefs? It would also mean Roflcopter go to 10 points, and there's a chance that if they win this, guys, then they beat wildcard. Forget 5th, they could be beyond that. They could be up as high as 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, Ruffle winning this matchup keeps things really exciting for the final play day. So look, no bias, but fingers crossed Ruffle can get a result over the line. I mean, hashtag Bliss up, all that jazz, love them as well. But Ruffle winning this matchup would be really exciting for the rest of the league. And this wouldn't be the first time that Ruffle has upset a run from Bliss. Casting our minds back to stage 1 during the playoffs, Ruffle took down Bliss 2-0. It was a 7-4 on club and 8-7 on coastline. So they're no strangers to, I guess, inflicting a bad day on Bliss.
Yeah, certainly not. Let's go and have a look at the Team Bliss lineup. Of course, they are now the only team in this entire OCN product that is unblemished, guys. They are the only team that has not lost.
That is quite the record, and that does sit them nicely on 14 points. Now again, just to go into the specifics, they have a 3-point margin to the Chiefs. Those two teams will face off in the next Playday. What that means is Bliss need at least 1 point. So their goal is to get it to 6 rounds. It doesn't matter if they lose in overtime, they still will finish first here. In doing so, they secure their position in the grand final. Now, if they lose completely, get 0 points, then they need to bank on beating Chiefs next week.
Yeah, and for Roflcopter, of course, for Team Bliss, of course, you get any point in this game and you will secure that top spot. And that will, of course, book you a position in the grand final immediately in the gauntlet. So that's what's up stakes here for Team Bliss. It also means it's likely they could avoid the likes of Roflcopter, who of course upset them in the gauntlet last time, which I guess is one thing that maybe might be in the back of their minds, guys. Bit of revenge maybe for stage 1.
Yeah, potentially. It could be another case where Bliss don't feel particularly comfortable against the Ruffle playstyle, which we know hearing from player interviews and whatnot can be a little bit left of field. Ruffle like to play an exciting brand of Siege, let's put it that way. Bliss, however, though, I think they're riding a high at the moment. It seems like their confidence levels are the best we've ever seen. That's been translated into their results. And honestly, I don't think that that playoffs result from last stage will be hindering them too much. They'll know that heading into this matchup, they are probably the better team overall, and should be expecting a result.
Let's go and have a look at the map, Veto, and see which map we will be heading to close out Play Day 6 between these two teams. It's going to be Cafe. We've had one of everything tonight, guys. No double ups.
Yeah, that's nice. Wouldn't mind seeing Chalet. We haven't seen that for a while, but hey,
Chalet.
I can't complain about every single map. Otherwise, I'll be labeled Debbie Downer. So yeah, Cafe should be pretty spicy. Looking at the match history for both of these teams, Ruffles is completely broken, so that's a real shame. Dev Marta again. We need to do a tech support. But Bliss have some decent form. They did take down a wild card back in June. It was a 7-4 result for them on that occasion. And funnily enough, Chalet was also their last ban as well there. So maybe something that they're hiding up their sleeve for the playoffs. And I guess that's also another interesting discussion point, right? There's no real point for Bliss to go too hard here in this matchup and next week as well, unless they want to go really hard to secure that first place. Again, because they want to hide some stuff for the final.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could go with that mantra of hiding stuff. I'm not a big believer of that. I think you can get the job done, though, if your Team Bliss, the way that they have been playing this stage, they probably don't need to bring out anything new. Like, it's just continue on doing what you've been doing this stage. The only blemish on their record is the fact that they got forced into OT by order. That's it. And that was, of course, in Playday 5. That was an 8-7 victory. But for now, they turn their focus over to that Roflcopter in the corner as we head over to Cafe. Roflcopter in 6th position, just outside of the top 5. Can they get a win here? Upset Team Bliss, force their first loss of the stage, or will Team Bliss lock up top spot?
The main question I want answered at the moment is, why does OJ have 8 water bottles on his desk? Did you notice that before? He literally has 8 water bottles.
He's hydrated.
Plus, like a sports drink. Do you reckon he drinks? Is that like for 1 per round? Is this going to be a 9-round match? 7-2 Bliss.
7-2 Bliss.
That would be a really funny storyline if that ends up happening.
Going to talk about the bands, or are you just going to talk about the water bottles?
Oh, look. I can do my job if I have to. Sophia taken off the board here. And Jackal. So that's a pretty interesting combo. We're seeing all the hard breaches make it through. We're seeing the Thatcher, the Flores also make it through. Sophia, a bit of a comfort band for both of these teams, probably with strong opponents on each. Jackal, with that off the board, will make the roam clear a little bit spicy, so I expect teams to roam quite a bit. I guess the mute does negate that a little bit, being unavailable, and Valk expected here on Cafe. So I'm expecting quite an open matchup. Rofl love to play super aggressive and love to antagonize their opponents a little bit. Bliss have their occasions as well, where they like that playstyle. And with so much available to the attack, this is going to be really, really tricky to defend. Honestly, with Bliss starting out on the attack, I am anticipating, I'm just going to say it straight up, 5-1-1 here for Bliss.
5-1-1 for Bliss on the attack on Cafe.
Yeah, clip it.
For a map that has literally the best defensive win rate in OCN.
Yep.
Okay. 5-1-1 for Team Bliss on Cafe. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see if Mr. Guz, the reigning prediction king, can predict this one. Big game. If you're Chiefs, are you watching this game right now? If you're the Chiefs, guys, are you watching?
Sorry to interrupt that point. Why is Rofl the favorite team heading into this matchup? Come on. Lads, the Twitter bots must have been at it for this one, because that's not right. Bliss are undefeated, chat. Come on. Maybe they know something we don't. Sorry, what was your point about?
I was just gonna say, you know, as we get started here, we get kind of settled in. Are the Chiefs, you know, watching? Are they taking a bit of a peek as to their fate?
Maybe. I would anticipate that the Chiefs would be, you know, keeping at least one eye on this matchup, because again, if Bliss lose, then next match between Bliss and Chiefs is ultra critical for that first position. So I mean, yeah, might be a case of one eye closed, one eye opened here for Team Bliss. You know, keep overwatch of their potential first place opponents.
They are playing next week.
Oh yeah, potential first. I was gonna say potential opponent. I was like, that makes absolutely no sense. So potential first place opponent, which doesn't make sense either. But you know what I mean. First place face off.
Of course, Roflcopter, a team that you wouldn't want to take lightly. +3 round differential on Roflcopter is actually better than Order and Wildcard, 2 teams that are in the top 5. So despite being in 6th position. And for Roflcopter, really their downfall has just been that a lot of their wins have been in OT. In fact, only 1 win in regulation. Only 1. The other 2 have come in overtime. So that's some points they've kind of left on the table a bit.
Quite a bit of time being spent here by Bliss clearing out this side of the map. I anticipated with all of those clearers available in the hard breach and the Flores, Thatcher, etc. here for the attack, that this would be sped up a little bit. And honestly, at this point of the round, more pressure would be applied over towards Cocktail. Now, maybe with Mirror sneaking through, that's slowing down progress a little bit. They also have to be careful of OJ down below on the pulse, feeding info to the rest of the team. Also posing a threat. Oh, they combo with the shotgun. The Nitro Cell heads out. That's huge. Repic's taken down. The teamwork there from Rofl to find that kill. Really impressive.
It's only 1 though. You need a bit more than that. Settle down, Guz. Long way to go. It's only the opening round.
It was a good kill.
All right, it's the first kill of what could be a very long match. There's a second kill. This one's from Bouncin'. You expect good things from him. Oh, Boydie with like a fadeaway. That was like a 3-point fadeaway. Roflcopter with a 3-man advantage now. So much for that 5-1 start.
And this is the kind of play style we expected from Rofl, just a little bit of wacky siege, a bit crazy, trying to throw their opponents off. And so far in round number 1, it is working out. Unfortunately for Bliss, info still being fed by OJ to the rest of the Rofl squad. And
Oh my
Campo
God.
will find the 4th pick for
Flawless?
his team. 30 seconds left, and it could well be, but you know Jigsaw, I'm sure he'll find a pick or two.
Arguably one of the best players in OCN for this stage. Some might even say the best, but there's debates and there's always comparisons, but not going to be able to win this one. In fact, it is a flawless round. Well, they can only have a 5-1 half if they lose at least one. There's one, Guz. Now they're going to go 5 in a row.
All part of the storyline.
It's all part of it.
Yep. And worst case scenario, the 7-2 is also still on the table, so bit of a risky pick from me, but yeah, I'm going to stand by it for the meantime. I think it's important that Bliss speed up though. With Thatcher available, Flores available, there's really no excuses on util clear and map control being slow. Now, I understand mirrors available and that does make things tough, but you've got to be able to counter that with the likes of the Hibana, for example, in clearing out those positions, making it difficult to hold.
But can you really take the Thatcher here? Because you need that Nomad against Rofl. Like, come on.
Fair point.
Who do you take out? That's the thing, right? Especially going over to Kitchen now, you're going to want that Sledge to open things up above, the Nomad for the flank watch, obviously the Hibana for the hard breach, maybe the Flores.
It's not even necessary that you have to bring the Thatcher. That's not... My point more so was the fact that they're getting stalled out at a part of the map where you just shouldn't be getting stalled out to the extent that they were. Yes, they were faced with those mirror windows, but if you do have the Flores available and or the Thatcher, clearing those shouldn't be the most difficult part necessarily of the round. I would have assumed that heading into this matchup, Bliss would be anticipating that the execute to be quite tricky, especially with Rofl manipulating the map quite a bit, rotating around, playing ultra aggressive, not necessarily in clearing out key footholds like that, especially again with the attacking bans opening up many opportunities to clear those out.
I'm just trying to think back to all of our games tonight, but I'm pretty sure all 3 winning teams started off well. Wildcard started off well, Order started off well, LFO started off well. Just that trend that's sort of been displayed here, right? If Roflcopter get off to a good start, maybe do a bit of a world tour, go up 3-0, there'll be some question marks on the side of Team Bliss. And this is a team that hasn't really faced much adversity this stage, right? They haven't really been in that sort of position. The only game was against Order, which of course went 8-7. That was back over on Oregon, where both halves were split 3-3, first half and second half. So again, not really much of an adversity position, just more so a back and forth game.
Mirror window being used here at pixel position. Boydie is in assistance. Now, I don't know if Bliss are aware of his position. Good crossfire established here by the defense. And there we go. Boydie finds a pick there onto Repix. Bliss miss-droning Piano. Now, Oda does get one back onto Hotshot, and the rest of the team will fall back. Boydie basically stranded now inside of Cigar Lounge. Jigsaw, though, could get caught off guard. Doesn't, though, as Boydie crouches away. I mean, it's only a matter of time until Boydie dies here, but maybe with Bouncing coming back to establish that cross, it could take some time.
And he's already got that one kill, right? So it's job done for Boydie. It takes a lot of damage and eventually does get shut down. Team Bliss with an advantage now here in the second round. 4 versus 3. That Nitrosalt's going to miss the mark. Minute left in the round, and well, this is already a stark contrast between the LFO and Chiefs game where it was very slow going. This is going to be quite hectic in a lot of the rounds.
A disappointing start there for Bliss, but they're able to bounce back, and some good intuition there to cut off the rotation, particularly the one from Boydie there, the use of the garage balcony from Todd. Really, really intelligent. Now, though, there's still a lot of work to be done. Shade finds the one there onto Campo. Great pick at Brown Stairs. That wall, for whatever reason, is proving to be really difficult to open. I vividly remember that a couple of weeks ago when we were casting. I think it might have been Campo struggling to open that wall, whoever it was. Either way, Bouncing and OJ need to hold on for another 20 seconds.
This is certainly doable, but it's not easy. Need to play into the time. A lot of damage has been actually applied over to Todd. Bouncing with a bit of information here on the move. 5 seconds. That diffuser is down. Shade is down though as well. 2 versus 3. OJ with a quick double. He gets Todd as well. Now it's a 2 versus 2. Suddenly with 35 seconds left. But the position on the side of Team Bliss.
Oh, Jigsaw though from above. OJ falls into that trap, but now Bouncing is left in the 1v2. He's going to be forced to fake out the diffuser. Sticks it. 3.
Just stick it.
2.
Oh.
But no. Jigsaw finds the kill and wins the round for his team.
He almost went to Gemini in. Had he done that, I think he actually loses the round there. You saw him cancel that Gemini, Guz, and just went for it and dropped down. 1-1. And this is kind of what Playday 5 was like for Team Bliss, right? That sort of back and forth against order. 3-3 halves, then eventually went into OT, where of course it went to that 15th round. Not necessarily saying it's going to go like that, but again, you know, Team Bliss, as they've gone through the entire stage, have never really been in that sort of position or predicament where they're down big and have to claw their way back in. Rofl needed to maybe get off to a good start, get up to like a 3-0 or even some sort of 3-1 start and put Team Bliss on the back foot, force them to play catch up. But Bliss bounced back in that second round and they tie it up 1-1.
Upstairs we go, round number 3. And again, we get to see how effective Bliss are in clearing out that lounge position. Now, last time, when Rofl extended, we did see Bliss have a couple of teething issues, but they're able to resolve those and ultimately convert the round, as the scoreboard suggests. This time, though, more direct pressure will be applied here by Rofl. We're seeing that now accustomed on meta mirror position inside of the washroom, facing over towards the default plant. And Ocean a second, as we can see now, placed by OJ. That long angle through the back store in towards lounge itself. And look, mirror again, tricky to deal with, but a lot of tools also available for the attack.
And this will probably be the sort of game that you take round by round. You probably can't think too far ahead into those sort of possibilities of what if this and what if that. It's very easy for both of these two teams to honestly beat each other. We've seen it in the past. Roflcopter, of course, brushed by Team Bliss in the gauntlet for Stage 1. But for Team Bliss, they've been brushing by everyone in OCN here for Stage 2. Well, they add Roflcopter to that list. And if Jigsaw's playing well, Bliss tend to play well as a team. And so far, after a 2-1 start and hitting some shots.
Veto Jones sent over towards Pixel. And Rebix uses the first one perfectly to dislodge that shield, forcing the defense back. And there we go, Shade with the pinch there onto Campo. What a fantastic play from Bliss halfway into the round to gain some control.
Minute 20 left. And this is what Bliss do so well, though. They just grind out these games round by round, and all of a sudden you blink and they're up 3-4 rounds. They are a very structured team now, and a very, very solid one at that. Very difficult to beat. They don't make too many mistakes either. They don't give teams too many opportunities. Like, you get that pick, but they don't overrush it. They don't overplay their hand. I say that. Jigsaw has been eliminated, but Oda, the trigger discipline to get the full information there, to get that kill onto OJ. Took an extra 20 seconds, Guz, but eventually you get the kill.
Yeah, really paid off. They're doing a great job to drone for himself, and the entire team.
Wow.
Roflcopter, that is falling apart. Bouncing left over towards top white in the 1v3. This is a very difficult position to bring back.
Yeah, not possible, even for Bouncing, who's having a great stage. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to retract my statements here. Great headshot onto Shade. He's suddenly 4-1. He's playing well. Diffuser goes down. Surely the angles, though, are all being covered. Diffuser inside a bar, but no one's playing from Skylight. They're both down below. on the map. Oh, bouncing. Yeah, he's oh, never mind. Now he's up on that skylight position. He's able to reposition. He has to just stick it. Nothing he can do. Literally nothing. Oh, I was hoping that Oda didn't miss that head there for a second. He didn't. It's actually harder to see than it looks.
Yeah. A really good round there from Oda, not only finding that kill in the post plant, but a really critical one there in the mid round. Over towards Cocktail. A clean round there overall from Bliss. Great job on the repels overall to find themselves in that man advantage. Really good intuition as well there in the post plant from Oda. Jumps out the window, gets straight onto that skylight. And as we know, that is a very, very difficult position to win back if you are on the defense. A great effort by Bouncin, who did find a cheeky pick in Lounge, but of course he could not ultimately counter defuse Bowman. Bliss starting to prove why they are one of the better teams, or the best, some may say, currently in OCN. Yes, a shaky first round, but they seem to be finding their stride now.
Yeah, and this is a really good, like, really good test for this team as well going into the final Playday. Because Roflcopter's that sort of team, guys, where they don't play like the top teams necessarily. You know, your Knights and your Chiefs and your Wildcards. They can be a little bit more unpredictable. They can throw some real curveballs at you. And if you can deal with that, it really shows, I think, the mettle of a team. And a Team Bliss can just say, you know what, we don't care about your antics. We don't care if you're aggressive. We don't care how you play. We're just going to brush you aside. To me, that just continues to set the foundations for what could end up being a championship team going into the playoffs.
Bliss again committing to a top-down take. Jigsaw having a quiet one, at least by his standards. 2 and 2, still posting good numbers and having an impact when needed, but has of course been the standout player in OCN for Stage 2. Just holding down the fort at the moment, holding that long cross through mining over towards the reading hallway. Won't catch anyone off guard at the moment. The rest of the team still working up above. Bliss looking to likely accelerate control of Cocktail again. That was where they had some pretty severe issues last time.
Yeah, and Bliss are not going to be rushing in. They're not going to be playing into the hands of Roflcopter. They're going to do their thing. It's almost like Wildcard-like or Knights-like, right? This structured, slow build-up approach, clear the utility, find that pick like they did by taking out OJ. Oh. Getting that clash off the board so early. Jigsaw headshot, Boydie gone. And suddenly again, Bliss have just sort of opened up a pathway here onto the site. Bouncing though is the only one that's really making things happen for Roflcopter.
And you can see just how much cleaner this round has been from Bliss compared to last time. They have completely decimated that setup over towards Cocktail. They still have a full minute now to work with. So much more time, so much more space. They have the man advantage as well. This is a much better round so far from Bliss.
And they've got 8 drones alive as well. A lot of information. They've still got the man advantage. They've still got 50 seconds. Everything is Team Bliss right now in this round. But it can all change very quickly, especially towards the final 20, 30 seconds. If they can't find themselves a bigger advantage than this, Bouncin will eliminate that Gemini. 35 seconds left, and this might end up just sort of being a Pillars drop down, go default plant, but they've at least got that one-man advantage.
Probably will be the play. Shade does have the diffuser in hand. Jigsaw elsewhere does take damage, but Bouncin falls. That is the mirror, the one impactful player for Roffle off the board, and now Hotshot is left to try and clutch up, but he's stuck in laundry.
Yeah, it's a 4 versus 1. He can deny this though. Never mind, Todd just... Whew. Actually really want to watch this kill cam here and just sort of watch him. Yeah, talk about timing there. Had he not elected to push in like that, could have maybe been some interesting moments, but no, it didn't happen. 3-1, Team Bliss. Off the back of losing the opening round, guys, they've gone and won now 3 in a row.
How's that 5-1 smelling? Pretty good. You're never going to hear. You're never going to hear the end of it if I'm right.
I hate it.
Look, I'm not completely confident just yet, but I must say I'm genuinely really impressed at how Bliss were able to significantly improve that take. It's almost like they were listening to me in their ears.
Oh, jeez, calm down.
But maybe I'm giving myself a little bit too much credit. But I commented on them taking a little bit too much time. They got stalled out. They didn't clear the mirror windows. Yet we were halfway into that round. Mirror windows were completely gone. Everyone's side of Cocktail forced to rotate. They were under the pump. And Bliss able to capitalize upon those rotations, gave themselves that clear advantage. And from there, it was a really nice conversion. So a big improvement there from Bliss. And I think that's a really positive sign for a team where if they lose a round and they can discern as to why that may have happened. Look, there's probably other reasons outside of what I've mentioned, but again, they did improve overall. If you're able to achieve that in such a small time frame, under the pressure, in an official, that's just a great sign overall, and that, it's an indication that Bliss are a serious team.
They certainly are. I mean, the indication for me is the fact they're in first place with 5 wins. I don't know. This also does add to it, I guess, but I've taken this team seriously for basically the better half of a month. I've been saying on the reload all stage long, 7-zip, 7-zip. Right now, they're at 5 wins, 0 losses. If they can win this one, it will be 6 wins, 0 losses. Gone 6 to open up that castle barricade. And of course, a win here for Bliss will secure them the #1 position. And it will mean they go straight to the grand final. It's as simple as that.
Jigsaw looking increasingly menacing as this match progresses. He got 2 kills in the previous round, and we just know so far in the stage he's so dangerous. Campo, don't peek that. You'll regret it. Bliss, I think, have intel on that position. At least there is a yellow ping being sent out. Now, the reason that, of course, they're trying to dislodge these players, or at least disrupt them, is so the likes of Repix can get in above, start sending out Rotero drones and clearing out the other side of the map. Boydie, in a risky position, pops up, but he does win the kill. He wins the fight, and it's a good start for Rofl. And
Oh, Todd, that was so close. Campo able to get away. Barely, though, and is severely wounded.
And that's the second time that Todd's used that angle. It's quite an opportunistic one at that. You don't see too many people playing that position on that little garage balcony. So I really like that from Todd, and it does offer a really nice long line of sight over towards the fireplace and can cut off that rotation from the hatch drop. So good little innovation there from Bliss being employed once again. As the round progresses, though, Rofl able to rotate back towards site. They still have 5 members alive. Good positions. Fortified in the objective. I mean, this deployable shield from Rofl is quite dangerous. That said, it is vulnerable to up above, and Shade gets the kill. That's big.
And of course, that stops that Nitro cell from exploding as well. So that's pretty good. But you also want that killed because it's almost go time here for Team Bliss. 30 seconds left, and they've at least been able to even up the scorecard. 4 versus 4. It's dropped down time now. In fact, Todd is already down into Freezer. Shade as well. So Bliss is starting to get men on site into the final 20 seconds.
Player being stuck here. OJ not on his Yokai drone, so
is
it
no
will
one
not
watching?
be denied. It's a 4v4 post plant now.
Well, Shade just sees the barrel of a gun there, but bewildering from Roflcopter how they've allowed this to just go down, and no one's making anything happen. It's Jigsaw who gets the kill, and the walkthrough from Bouncing. Roflcopter just capitulating on the defensive side. And of course, you can't really expect 1 HP Campo to do anything. Team Bliss go up 4-1. Guz, please tell me what just happened.
Bliss up, baby! Yeah! Let's go! I have no idea. OJ mustn't have had any Yokai drones left. Now, I didn't specifically look at the graphic to know, but he mustn't have. Now, it is typical to place one up above Coffee. You get a really nice one and line of sight there into the default plant, but for whatever reason, not employed there. So you can see OJ had 1 left halfway through the round. Yeah, he actually had none left, unless they were deployed. Look, I can only assume that he didn't have any left. Either way, though, Rofl not having any plant denial there, retaking that, always going to be very, very, very challenging. So well done by Bliss. They get another round on the board, and that 5-1 target doesn't look so distant anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I'm smirking so much right now.
It doesn't. Things can still change though, guys. There's one round to make it happen.
Yep.
It is the final round of this half. Team Bliss up 4-1. They are in cruise control currently. It is a non-contest because they've won the last 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, Bliss definitely flicking a switch after that first round. They're playing Clinical Siege like they have throughout the majority of Stage 2. Only one blemish so far, and it wasn't even a loss for Bliss. It was just no T wins. So no doubt that they are a very competitive lineup. Once again, proving their worth. Still a long way to go, however. And again, like I sort of prefaced, I am expecting this map to be pretty attacker-sided, with the options available as none of the hard breaches were banned. Thatcher and Flores both made it through. Now, as you mentioned, of course, Cafe very defender-sided here in OCN, but that hasn't seemed to count for much so far. Fortunately for Rofl, they might be able to post another round on the board. Boydie kicking things off with a nice opener.
Yeah, but Roflcopter have been in this position before where they get that opening pick and then just kind of fall back. Maybe go a little bit too much into their shells.
Jigsaw again!
Yeah, Jigsaw is just seriously on the next level. Finds another pick, and just like those rounds before, and what I was kind of almost getting to, guys, is this happens every time. Rofl get that opening pick, but Bliss find one back.
And talk about every time. Jigsaw's literally playing that exact same rappel on every occasion, and he's doing a really good job in picking up picks. Finding that kill down below there onto OJ alleviates quite a bit of pressure once they try and take Lounge. It's one less nitro cell you need to worry about below, less lines of sight, etc. So that's a really, really big pick there from Jigsaw. It opens up the way for Repix now as well with those Veto joins to clear the shield. That forces Campo back, who will be a little bit scared considering last time he got pinched from the Whitehall window. Not the occasion this time. He can play a little bit safer, but still, he'll probably have bated breath as Bliss will look to transition over towards Lounge. And there we go again. Shade perfectly pinches it. Bliss are just repeating the same triumphs over and over.
This is disgusting right now from Team Bliss and really highlights the significance of this team in the way that they have been playing this stage. As they're opening up this bar position, we've seen it a few times this stage, guys, with the Retero drones. Bouncing's going to make something happen here over towards Red Stairs.
Oh. Yeah, he really does need to. Rofl in the 3v4. Plant denial. Lacking only 2 smoke canisters left. Hotshot, however, does find one with the SMG. Bliss need to respond.
Thanks to the 3 versus 3, though, at least evens things up momentarily. 40 seconds left of the round. That Retero drone's going to explode. Boydie can do nothing but just watch as he reloads. Bouncing taking some damage, but so does Jigsaw. Throws out that nade. Even more damage. Bouncing, half health. 30 seconds left. Team Bliss, you almost feel like you got to back them in here simply because Jigsaw is alive. It is Todd, though, going now for that defuse. Boydie pushing up, but he gets spotted by Repix. They got all the angles. They've got this completely covered, but Hotshot inside a backstore, able to catch them off guard, but Jigsaw is just watching everything and killing everything. There's one left, and even he can't escape Jigsaw. It's another round win for Bliss, 5-1 in the opening half.
Welcome back from the break, folks. Team Bliss up 5-1. Looking to lock in first place for OCN. And in fact, Xenox, if they win this round, they will be secured for first place. No doubt about it.
100%. That is a good fact to bring up, guys. That's why you're the color commentator and I'm the brain dead commentator.
I'm glad you said it. I was thinking it.
One more point is all that Bliss need. That will put them on 15. Of course, Chiefs 11 plus 3 is only 14. I did the maths and I am correct. One round away from well, not glory, but grand final position glory and first place. It's still a bit of extra money.
Well, look, Ruffle will win this round, and then Bliss will win the next two after that.
Do you give Jigsaw has to get stage MVP, right? First place, best performing player.
No one else is very close. I mean, if we want to talk about raw statistics, there are a couple of players that are quite close, but honestly, Jigsaw, you know, he's got a flashy playstyle, catches the eye, but he also does have just a significant impact. Like that last round, for example. Another example where, yes, he's posting numbers, but he's just getting really critical kills, and his mechanical skill is honestly just head and shoulders above so many other players at the moment. So, yeah, I think at the moment, he's probably the stage champion, but it is important that he still posts up big performances when Bliss never make the playoffs.
I didn't even see how that happened, but he's down.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somewhere. Rapix.
Oh, they shot it!
Oh, that was close. That might... Ooh, I don't know if that would have got all three.
Would have got bouncing.
Definitely would have got bouncing.
Wasn't meant to be, though. Oh, well.
Look at the aggressive defense, though, inside a bakery. Like, this is something we weren't seeing from Roflcopter on their defense.
And I think this is the kind of aggression you need to bring. Again, with so much utility for the attack to work with, it makes sense to try and at least stall them out as much as possible. It is 100% inevitable the attack is going to take bakery, but if you can stall them out, that is the play. Trades go out elsewhere, however, Roffle on top at the moment. It's up to someone like Repix to find a response.
Is this the comeback? Maybe. Boydie, that's a big shot. Roflcopter, can they just build some momentum, get back into this game? Down 5-1. Of course, still playing for their own stage here at Roflcopter. They don't have to win this game. They only have to beat Wildcard next week in Playday 7. But one thing that they cannot allow is actually an OT win. They will have to win in regulation, guys. So by not winning this game, by not getting points from this game, it does make things a little bit more difficult next week.
Tough road ahead for Ruffle, but this round's going well so far. Todd in an off position, tucked away in the corner. Boydie sends out a frag grenade, and there we go. Todd actually is dealt with swiftly. Oda in the 1v4.
I think you said 7-2, didn't you?
I said Ruffle will win this round, and then Team Bliss win the 2 after.
Well, thankfully
there's a drone in sight. Oda to your left. Oh.
Oh. Yeah, thankfully your actual predictions are not as good as your in-game predictions. Unfortunately for Oda, he does get stopped by OJ. 5-2. Can Roflcopter maybe build some momentum off that round?
I just had Ghoul DM me on Discord saying, you were right, 5-1 start. I'm glad someone recognized that. But, what a response there from Ruffle. I mean, they did a really good job. They got bakery control. Yes, it was contested quite fiercely by Bliss, but they were able to push through that. Able to get the wall open. And then, of course, at such a strong man advantage, that round's always going to be yours. So, a good response there from Ruffle. Question will be, can they start mounting some true comfort here on the attack? How well can they play into that Flores, into that Habana? Are they able to counter Bliss, who are playing really good Siege at the moment? And in fact, they have gone to dining and mining. And this is a sign of confidence. This is something Wildcard did when Diesel was on the team. That's the kind of level we're talking about at the moment. But Bliss, they're taking it into their own hands and says, hey, you know what, lads? We're going to shoot our shot on this objective and see what we're made of.
Yeah, and that's what you like to see, though. And Team Bliss is a team that's obviously confident in their abilities, as they should be for the team in first place.
10 seconds to go.
Roflcopter going to be prepared and ready for this. Are they going to be able to even play it?
Attackers are heading out.
And how are Team Bliss are going to play it as well? You know, they're going to have Todd just lingering around this red stairs position for as long as possible. Above control as well. It's going to be an intriguing round to watch play out. Of course, Bliss, while they don't have match point, technically, just need one more round to secure top spot. There's still every chance that Roflcopter could do the extraordinary and come back and win the next 5 rounds in a row, guys.
It is a possibility. Very intrigued to see how Roffle approach this site. It's not one that we do see commonly played in officials. Scrims could be a whole different ball game. Maybe Roffle have decent experience attacking this objective and know the sort of obstacles that they need to overcome and the objectives that need to be ticked off. Jigsaw, though, if he lands this, he could completely dislodge this round. Nitro Cell flies out. Does not hit the mark. I think Boydie took a little bit of damage from that, but will survive another day as Todd continues to feed info from below.
Yeah, and the main thing here for Bliss is to just keep the pressure on Roflcopter. Make it difficult for them to get much information, make it difficult for them to figure out what's going on and what they need to do. Just keep that pressure applied and be the aggressive team. Be the ones making something happen. Only one Nitrocell remaining though. That's with Todd on the pulse. Minute 20 on the clock. Still no real engagement from either team.
Utility clearance here from Roffle as they slowly set themselves up to hit the site. More grenades fly out. That's all of them used now. So there's still one left for bouncing. A slow round here for Roffle.
Yeah. It's hard to also... I'm not going to lie, I've got no idea who's actually winning this round right now.
It's a very tough objective to sort of measure where everyone's at.
Yeah.
And
I think the fact that there's still 5 defenders alive and the fact that Team Bliss obviously have gone to this objective for a reason, probably are in front. Although
Todd?
Jigsaw's quickly found 2. Todd's going to be very careful because Bouncin is roaming around down below in kitchen. 30 seconds left. It's a 3 versus 3.
Well, the thing is, Bliss have really long, deep angles here. They're not going to be pressured from pillar. That makes life really difficult for Roffle, who are filtering all of them from red stairs.
We're going to hit that illustrious red time now. Roflcopter are not going to be given too much room to breathe here once they push onto site. Jigsaw with the long angle through the wall. Spots one head go by, but he's able to get by. Oh. There's a shot, though. Does not allow that plant to go down. It's the Jigsaw show here. That's actually a bit more of a tongue twister than it sounds like. And Team Bliss will be #1 position for stage 2 of OCN. They go straight to the grand final and only one more round to be played here as it's match point.
Bliss, though, they'll want to get the job done. No point lifting off the gas too early here. Secure those points and really make a name for yourselves if you haven't already. Yes, you have secured that grand final position, but hey, why not maximize the amount of points you can possibly get? Rub some salt in the wounds here for Roffle, who will need to pick themselves back up for their match next week against Wildcard. I really like that setup, actually, from Bliss. We saw them pretty chill there at the end of the round. 3 players holding really deep lines of sight that were never going to be contested by Roffle, and sure, Jigsaw had to hit a bit of a nutty shot there on the pixel to deny the plant, but outside of that, smooth sailing for Team Bliss. Some may say they had a bit of a wet sail in the latter stages of that round, and they'll be quite happy with pulling off an objective that we don't commonly see.
The thing that haunts me, though, is the fact that a 7-2 is possible now. Off the back of your 5-1 call into the 7-2 call.
It would be freaky.
Did you actually at least predict Bliss to win this game?
I actually have no idea. Surely I
did. I think you did. I'm pretty sure it's just the first 2 that we differed on.
I did.
I'm pretty sure we will still be also leading the predictions going into Playday 7. I'm not sure if we've maybe had someone join us or not, but that'll be fascinating to have a look at too at the conclusion of this game. And the thing is, well, as Ripex gets the first kill onto OJ, I was about to say, we don't tend to see Roflcopter get torn to shreds like this. They're going to +3 round differential, guys. They don't get beaten 7-2, and yet it's about to happen.
And casting our minds back to stage 1, Roffle was the team that dislodged Bliss from the playoffs. They beat them 2-0, showing that maybe Bliss have some weaknesses in the best-of-3 format, but that's all well and good. In the regular season, it's best of 1. That's the format you need to play into. And unfortunately for Roffle, it has been a disastrous night here on Cafe.
And if Bliss do win this round tonight. Just some fun number stats. 7-4, 7-2, 7-4, 7-2. Our 4 games tonight. Always one for the numerology and the fun things you can do with numbers. Speaking of numbers, Jigsaw's got some pretty big numbers again in his KDA.
Oh, he actually hit him.
Jesus, I thought he was going to headshot him for a second.
Oh my God.
I thought he was about to kill him.
He was close.
He hit
Just
him.
Taps the shoulder there of Bouncin, makes his presence known and says, you know what, Bouncin, don't jump in that window or it will be your death sentence. Boydie, though, has made his way in towards mining. Jigsaw sees his feet, that misses the shots. Oh, he swings in response. Jigsaw still alive. The man just does not die. Staying alive for so long in this round. Surely doesn't get away with this, but does again. Prone, caught, eventually taken down.
Boydie.
Bouncing also with a nade, flips it. Now Roffle have the advantage.
Oh, is Shay trying to get Jigsaw out of here?
Oh,
Not going to happen, though. Tried to open up that exit strategy, but with a nade, though, will finish off Jigsaw. Bouncing dies to Todd. And it's again, like the round prior, 3 versus 3. Boydie's low. Boydie, though, with another nade kill. This one onto Shade. 2 versus 3, Oda and Todd to confirm the 7-2 victory against Roflcopter. Boydie, Campo and Hotshot, 30 seconds on the clock.
Oda over towards White Stairs and Todd caught in reading. Decent positions being held here, and Boydie is quite low, so I wouldn't count Bliss out of this round necessarily, but it could be tough. Oda has to win this gunfight, but he misses. He falters, and Boydie takes off his head.
Bit of a whiff there from Oda. 10 seconds left. Todd coming around the back over towards Pillars, though. Plank going down from Hotshot, but Campo lands the shot. So no 7-2.
They should have won that.
The dream is dead. Gaz's prediction falls flat on his face. And my numbers, fun fact, is also going to, fall on the face as well. But hey, big round win for Roflcopter. For Team Bliss, though, this is the thing, right? Like, it doesn't really matter anymore, right? It don't matter. They are already first. This could be an awesome, amazing comeback for Roflcopter, and the only team that it will matter for is Roflcopter, guys, right? They're still fighting for something. If they can get 1 point from this game, so if they can somehow force OT, they go to 8 points. Now, what that means is an OT win against Wildcard would get them into the playoffs. So it gives them 1 extra avenue. It means that an OT win or a regulation win would be enough. If they can't get that 1 point from this game, then they will have to win next week in regulation. So there's a bit to fight for here for Roffle.
Wait, why can't they win it at OT?
If they lose this game. Well, they'll only be able to get 2 points, and Wildcard will get 1 point.
Ah, yeah. Duh. Okay, good. It's getting late in the night, so my ability to do math is even worse than usual, so thank you for clearing that one up. So yeah, still a lot to fight here for Roffle. I mean, arguably Bliss have already done their job. They secured first place, and they can basically just chill here for the rest of this matchup. But I'd like to think they want to close this one out with another OT win. Continue that form. Jigsaw towards Lounge. Unable to find anything.
Obviously, it also kind of makes next week's match against the Chiefs a bit of a dead rubber game for Team Bliss. It won't be, though, for Chiefs. They will still have a lot to play for. Rapix with the opening pick onto Bouncin, who's out for the count. And OJ might be following him. He's down at the moment, but does get brought back up.
Scarlet control here from Hotshot on the Habana. Locates a Sawyer gate facing in towards Cocktail. And, oh! Damage inflicted by Campo down below there. Onto that defender. Boydie finds Shade. Could have done so with his gun, but the frag grenade will work out. They drop the skylight, and we still have a minute to go.
Oh, what? OJ's killed Campo. Hotshot and Boydie are dead. That's it. Okay, a minute to go. What? The game's over, guys. I don't know what you're on about. That's it.
How long is OJ just going to stand here for? Is he just going to meme it out? Surely.
What an anticlimactic finish.
He's gonna kill himself with the Veto. Oh, no.
I don't even know what to say right now. There's not a chance he will win this. If he wins this round, I will rock a mustache for the
Okay.
playoffs.
I'll hold you to that.
I will do it. There's no way he's winning it. It's not even possible.
Come on, OJ.
Dead. That's it. Team Bliss. 7-3 victory over Roflcopter. And they will be going straight to the grand final.
Oda hitting them with the question mark as well in the chat, rubbing it in. Bliss, but hey, when you're at the top of the standings, you know what? You can have your say. What a season for Team Bliss. I mean, there's still one more play day to go, so they could extend that lead even further. But again, critically, they will finish first here in Stage 2 for the regular season.
And as I said before, they will go straight to the grand final position at the tail end of the gauntlet. They will be able to avoid having to run the gauntlet, which of course was their demise in Stage 1, Guz. And it was Roflcopter, of course, that kicked them out of the gauntlet. And, well, they've gotten a bit of revenge here in this game. And it makes things very difficult for Roflcopter now as well, going into Playday 7. They must beat Wildcard in regulation. It's simple as that, really. And that means for Wildcard that as long as they get to OT, they're safe. Playday 7's still going to be so big, but we don't quite get the Bliss Chiefs match that we might have wanted.
It was such a good start for Rofl. I know I got really excited off the back of that very, very first kill. So well coordinated by Rofl, but unfortunately, let's be honest, that was probably their one and only highlight in this entire matchup. From that point onwards, it was a downhill show for them. Bliss, they woke up, they showed up, and they put in a really solid performance. They continue to build form heading into the playoffs. They haven't blemished yet, and they literally have one more game before the playoffs, so I don't see any reason why that form should dip too much, and they've set themselves up really, really nicely.
And that's Roflcopter's worst loss of the stage since Playday 1, where they lost to LFO 7-3. Not worst loss because of the opponent, but worst loss because of the scoreline at the end of the game. So a 7-3 loss. So they've done that twice now, one to LFO and one to Team Bliss. But yeah, for Roflcopter, a little bit concerning going into, of course, just one Playday to go, to lose like that against the team that they beat in stage number 1. Apparently, Bliss have also won this 6-2. Look, in fairness, they actually did win out at 6-2 anyway, really. Let's be honest here. But it was the Jigsaw. I can't say Jigsaw tonight.
The Jigsaw show?
I can't say that.
Jigsaw show, Jigsaw show, Jigsaw show.
See?
Yeah, that's hard.
See? But again, he stood up. And it's becoming a common occurrence now for Team Bliss that he is the one that is constantly fragging out.
Yeah, and look, it's honestly unbelievable. You very rarely see players posting these kind of stats week in, week out, week in, week out. Literally every single Playday Jigsaw is just going absolutely huge. Oh, there's the updated stats. Whoa. Bang, there we go, 12 and 4. Thank you
His
very
player
much.
rating actually just went down by
Yeah, that's terrible couple of last rounds there from Jiggy. But yeah, wow, he's just an absolute machine. And we see it time and time again. Yes, you know, players like himself, they're a little bit flashy. They're going to get the spotlight a little bit more than others who might be posting similar numbers. But the fact that he's been so consistent is a real testament to his ability. And I'm sure Bliss are very, very grateful that they picked him up, keeping in mind that Jigsaw previously did play for LFO.
Yeah, big pickup, and I think has been the difference and the reason why Team Bliss have taken that next step. Do you crown them as the best team in the region, Guz? I mean, because like what? Okay. If they win Stage 2, if they're the Stage 2 champions, are they the best team in OCE?
They might be the best team in OCN. I don't think you can truly say you're the best team in OCE.
If you're the best team in OCN...
Unless you are the top performing OCE team in APAC South, you can't be the best team in OCE, but that's my opinion. You can be the best team in OCN though.
I'll tell you what, I do agree with you. I'm just trying to build, you know, clickbait headlines and all of that. Obviously, well,
I'm boring, man.
It's true though, because you know, and the players say it themselves. APAC South is always going to have that little extra preference, and you're going to prep more for that, and you're going to be playing better teams, so you're going to be playing at a higher level. OCN, while not completely, you know, disregarded, it's a different kettle of fish. And yeah, look, I'm just trying to stir a bit of fun with you guys. I always love doing that, throwing you under the bus. I think what we can agree, though, is that if Bliss do, in fact, win this stage, what a perfect season, right? And then their expectations for Stage 3 will be significantly different.
Well, their expectation sorry, but literally the expectation for stage 3 would be, lads, APAC South. Like, that is literally their goal. Because keep in mind, Oceanic Nationals is the stepping stone over towards APAC South. You need to do well here to be a chance to be promoted. And look, I don't think many of us would have expected Bliss to be even remotely in that conversation, but they are seriously putting their foot forward to be a threat. And if they continue to keep playing like this and continue to be consistent, continue to improve, I would love to see Bliss take it up against some of the best that APAC South has to offer, because they're playing some really, really good Siege at the moment.
Going to go and have a chat with a man who loves the zinger on a plate rather than in a box. It is going to be Oda from Team Bliss. Firstly, congratulations not only on this win, but on the entire stage. You guys are now officially in first place. You're officially straight to the grand final. Just how does that mean for you guys as a team?
I don't know, it means everything. You know, going from when I first joined this team to being relegated, and then the last stage coming, fourth, and then being top, undefeated so far. Hopefully we can keep going through playoffs and, win that grand final.
Yeah, I mean, give us maybe an insight as to what has changed. I know it's a common question, but something must have changed. What has clicked? What is the biggest thing that has changed between, as you mentioned, literally relegations to now? Is it Jigsaw? Is he the missing puzzle of that Jigsaw, I guess, that you've been trying to fit? Or is it something more than that?
No, it's definitely Jigsaw, eh? Nah, we've definitely put in a lot more work. A lot more scrims, just looking into teams, looking more into different maps, and it's just working. We're just looking strong as, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with that grand final position locked in, it means that you don't need to play any of the games leading into the gauntlet. I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Who do you think you'll be taking on in that grand final match?
Who's in the grand final? I don't know. I feel like maybe Chiefs. Like Chiefs maybe might, edge out against Knights, but I feel like Chiefs and us will be grand final, and it will be like a good game.
Well, funny you say that, because you've of course got the Chiefs next week for the final Playday. Does that mean that you're going to be holding some things back?
We'll definitely be holding some things back, boys. Definitely won't be showing everything.
That's probably the right way to play it. Obviously, you'll still try your best to win it, but maybe hold a couple of little things back. Before we let you go, though, of course, final shout-outs that you want to give out.
Shout-outs to everyone in the chat for supporting us, every week. It's good. And just glad that ranked game's over.
Oh, Jesus. Well, all I'm going to say, mate, I've been saying you guys are going to go 7-0 all season. You got one more week to prove me right. So don't let me down.
No, I won't. I definitely won't let you down, mate.
Thank you very much. And again, congratulations to not only Oda, but Team Bliss as well. They will be going straight to the grand final. That top spot is all locked up, 100%. No one can catch them, even with one Playday to go.
Ranked match, really, Oda? Oh my god, he had to go there, didn't he?
Look, that last round was kind of like a ranked match, I'm not going to lie. Last round was...
Yeah, it was an interesting matchup. But yeah, again, congratulations to Oda, and it has been such a big turnaround for this roster. They have been in the depths of relegations. They know what it's like to be down the bottom, but they have really mounted such a fantastic recovery effort throughout this season, throughout this stage in particular as well, and who knows where that ceiling is for them. How high can they go?
Yeah, let's go and have a look at today's results and see how everything played out from the start of the night until the very end. 7-4, 7-2, 7-4. Not quite 7-2, 7-3. How about in the middle there? It all started, of course, with Wildcard versus Knights. I got that prediction wrong. Wildcard keeping their play hopes alive. And then Order, well, they got the job done against your, what did you call it, meme pick?
Yeah, Rhythm Boys letting me down a little bit on that one. Should have gone with LFO for the cheeky pick there against the Chiefs, who continue that curse against the reigning champions. The Chiefs now cannot finish in first place, meaning that they'll need to at least play 2 BO3s to replicate that Stage 1 champion performance. Of course, the last matchup of the night just gone through was Bliss 7-3, a very comfortable victory for them, and Rofl unable to reproduce that result from the Stage 1 playoffs, in which they took down their opponents 2-0.
My favorite segment, of course. Let's go and have a look at the predictions and see where we are stacked up. We should be the same, and we've got some company. We've got more than that. We've got Sky joining us as well. Unfortunately for Ducky, 13-11, he's getting worse and worse. And Dev Marta, what's going on there? 15-9. He's below that other bearded guy. Forgot his name. What is it? Rob Manic?
Don't know. Didn't cast SI, so I wouldn't know.
You should have been in front though. Let's be real. You
yeah.
should be 18-6.
Can we change that production and just pretend I never picked Rhythm? Can we go back in time and do that? Yeah, look, unfortunate there for me, but again, sets us up for a really tight final Playday, not only for the predictions, but the standings themselves.
Certainly does. Raven, of course, having a great little OCN. He may even actually win OCN and come so far last in APAC South that you could just about fit 3 Ravens in there and you still wouldn't be able to add them all together and get into the top 2. Let's look at our MVP, of course, for this week of OCN. No real surprises, of course, if you've been watching the games. It's Wettables from LFO. Massive game, guys. I mean, seriously, what a performance.
Yeah, it really was. It was a great, well-rounded performance. And the one stat that really caught my eye live in the server was that opening KD on the entry going +6. LFO were just in such good standing in a lot of these rounds to pull off the kind of confident, cool, calm, and collected executes that we've come to expect from them against the Chiefs historically. Wet did a great job to get his team in that position and couldn't really be faulted.
The man himself said that it was his best match of his career that he's played so far, and it certainly looked like that as well. I think it was 19-6 was the final sort of KD, but to add to this story, it's not just the fact that he went 19-6. His teammates went all negative, Gus.
Yeah, when you say it out loud, it does sound a little bit ridiculous, but yeah, Wettables is definitely going to need a back massage from the rest of his roster after this matchup as he was carrying them through the depths. And you can just see throughout the replay package, he is hitting so many crazy shots. Some really awesome reactions as well. And I must say, Wettables, of course, not having much of an opportunity to be an interviewee this season, but he did a great job explaining the matchup, explaining his thoughts. And hopefully we get to see some more LFO wins maybe next week, maybe in Stage 3, so we can have a chat.
And you can see what it means to him and what that match meant for LFO. Of course, a big game against a big opponent that they were able to get 3 points from. Let's look at the standing and see how it all shapes up with 1 game to go, or 1 day to go, I should say. There's technically 4 games to go. Team Bliss on 17 points. They're looking for the 7-0. I mean, technically it's not 6. It's in the 1 column, guys, but it's an OT win. Chiefs just behind them in what becomes now a log jam. Chiefs, Order, Knights, Wildcard, Roflcopter, all still vying for a playoff position. I should note, LFO do not have the head-to-head with Wildcard. They cannot make playoffs. So even if they were to somehow beat Rhythm, which you maybe expect at this point, you know, they can't actually overtake Wildcard.
Yeah, really unfortunate there. So that does, of course, knock out the bottom 2, but really close. 2nd to 6th. They're fighting it out to make the top 5, and they're also fighting it out to finish as high in the standings as possible. They're all now chasing Bliss in that gauntlet format, and all of those teams will really, really want to finish in 2nd place or 3rd place if that's their best possible result, so that they have to play less best of 3s in that format.
Yeah, if I'm correct, so 4th and 5th, of course, will play each other. They will be the 2 teams that begin the gauntlet. So from 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, that's when you start to, you know, watch on and then eventually jump in when it's your turn. And running the gauntlet's difficult. Roflcopter attempted it last stage, guys. They got to the 3rd round from that 4-5 position, almost reaching the grand final. Didn't quite make it, losing out to the Chiefs, of course, the eventual stage champions who, you know, started in that 3rd round. They finished 2nd. They didn't get that immediate spot like Bliss, and who knows, maybe history could repeat itself.
Could be the case. I still do believe that starting deeper in the gauntlet is a pretty significant advantage. It gives a lot less intel for the other teams to work off. It also means that your endurance isn't being as heavily tested, and you should be better and well rested heading into those matches. I guess on the flip side, maybe it doesn't give you an opportunity to warm up, and that could have been to some of the other teams' demise in Stage 1. But Bliss seem to be coming out of the gates really, really strong in a lot of these best of 1s. If they can do that in the best of 3 format, then they've set themselves up for a really, really good playoff.
They certainly have. We are also set for a massive Play Day 7 coming up next week. Wildcard, Roflcopter, who makes playoffs? Knights, Order, who's going to get that better spot? And then Chiefs, can they also maintain a top spot? You do not want to miss next week's matches at all. And we'll be there to bring you all the action.
I'm running out of time. I'm running out of feeling so. I'm running out of time. To leave it all behind. Let me see the way.